My name's Tony. We're going to be replacing a leaky faucet today. First thing I like to do is when the homeowner brings out the correct faucet or whatever, I just like to check it to make sure it's adaptable to the sink, that the measurements are all the same for all the holes, and that it'll fit down in the placement of the old one properly. Second thing you're going to want to do is go underneath the sink, and there should be two shut-off valves. You're going to shut both valves off to the hot and cold water. Sometimes these valves go bad and the water won't shut off, so after you shut them off, I suggest running the water and making sure that they are shut off before you loosen them up. If something happens and they don't want to shut off properly, then I take my main water key and I will go out and I will shut the water off the main water supply to the house. That way we make sure we don't make a mess in the customer's house here and the water is shut off. Once we make sure the water is shut off properly, first thing we're going to do is come in here. Depending on the connection of the line, it could have a sharp bite on it, which takes a little coupling deal to disconnect it, or it could be a big plastic nut on it, which I found that these work handy just to get it started. You don't want to break them by squeezing them too hard, so this adjustable wrench seems to work good for me to keep me from overdoing it and breaking them. Next thing you'll do is you'll take both lines loose. You've got a nut on the bottom of both sides of these. You will loosen that nut off, which is what holds this down. You pull that up, pull it out. Next thing I do is I clean off this area right here where my new faucet can go. Make sure it's all clean and dirt free. Put my new seal down on it. Install my new faucet. Screw it down. Again, it's probably got the wire or the plastic nuts on it. So I do use the adjustable pliers to keep from overdoing it so I don't crack them and break them. I also, while I have the faucet out before I put it in, I like to add a little bit of Teflon tape to the threads, which is much easier to do it when the faucet's out before you put it in than it is when you get under here and then try to hook your lines up. So I always suggest putting this in right before you drop your new faucet in. After you get it in, you reconnect your lines. Make sure that if they're plastic lines, make sure that you don't over tighten and snap them. So there might be a metal connection where you might need a wrench to do that with. While I'm also under here, I'm going to go ahead and check all the drain connections and the P-trap and everything. Make sure the sink and all that. Make sure everything's good and tight. There's no leaks or problems in that area. If I did have a problem with my valves, the first thing I'm going to do is let the customer know of the problem and see if they want to replace that at the time that we're going to be doing the sink. So if they wanted to replace it, then we would have them pick up that valve before we actually put in the faucet so we can do it all at one time. But if not, then we just cut the main water back on at the meter. Anyway, once you get them installed, if everything's right, you'll just turn the water up on back here and you will run it both sides, check for leaks, make sure everything's leaking, clean up your area real nice, make sure everything's good and wiped down. I always double check for leaks if it's me, especially around the main water connectors, and then call the customer and have them come inspect everything and make sure it's all to their satisfaction. I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.